Graham, when you're singing, do you flash back to the genesis of the song you've written about in your book, Wild Tale? Do you think of that house?
I think it's one of the great things about being a performer,
right.
and one of the most difficult, because I think you have to put yourself back in that exact moment of creation. And so we have so many songs in our show that the emotional yo-yo is insane. You know, we go from absolute love songs to absolute fury, all within with this, and we have to put ourselves in that place again. I know when he's doing, you know, Long Time Gone, I know that he's thinking about Robert Kennedy. I know he's thinking about the dreadful, awful time that was. When he's doing For What It's Worth, I know he's right there when he wrote it and why he meant it.
So, do you always have to go back to the Robert Kennedy assassination, David, when you're singing that song?
Yeah, that or something like it. I mean,
right.
I think I was as angry about Dr. King as I was anything. But we'd lost both of the Kennedys and King. And it kind of, at a certain point, you know, we really believed we could change things. We believed. You know, we were people who really loved our country, and we wanted it to be right, and we wanted it to be something we could be proud of. And we thought, you know, we had people that we could believe in. Dr. King was a guy you could believe in. The Kennedys were guys that we idolized. And to have them all just, you know, it's not supposed to be ballot by bullet. It was a terribly discouraging thing to us, and of course we reacted to it. I mean, that's what, you know, that's the troubadour part of what we do. We see stuff, we try to look at it honestly and respond to it, you know, and carry the news. I mean, it can't be all we do. We're supposed to boogie, and we're supposed to take you on little voyages, you know, emotionally. But part of the job is that. And we wrote some angry songs. We did, because that really got to us, to lose leaders of that quality, you know, people we could believe in.
So you're always going back to the beginnings of the song. You have to, almost like an act.
Can't help it. There's some of it there, you know. I mean, there's a lot of, since then, of course, it's acquired, you know, right. All kinds of other freight that goes along with it, you know.
So you're like method singers, though, you have to go back to
well,
that.
You know, yes. All I have to do is think about George Bush and... I'm just kidding.
Right.
We kid, George.
Right.
I was determined that fans of Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young did not think that that bootleg of our Wembley show was who we were. We may have been there that night, but I knew that we had played some really good music throughout that tour, and I was determined to find it.
And you did.
Right. And I certainly, I couldn't have done it.
Well, it takes a lot of patience. Graham and Joel Bernstein, who's been our dear friend since he was about 16 years old, and Stanley Johnson was our front of house mixer and record producer and dear close friend for many, many years. They spent, what, 2 years working on this? 4 years.
Well, and one of the most difficult things, Joel and I and Stanley wanted to put you in the center at a great concert. But when tapes are recorded in different audio environments, different echoes, you can hear the size of places, you know, subtly in your ears. To be able to technically make you believe that you were only in one hall was one of the most difficult things that we had to do.
And there were 9 that you had 16 track, and the others were done with just 2 tracks?
Yes, and there's obviously...
Were there other some that you wished you had 16 that there was...
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a tape of Guinevere, actually, that was one of the finest times we ever did that song.
It was recorded with 2 cups and a string. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
45 years of this.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm just an irresponsible person.
So then I'm about maybe 15 songs into the project, right? And I'm doing it at a certain resolution, and it was the highest that we could deal with at that point. We were using software.
Oh, God, this is bad.
And then I get a phone call. Hey, Willie. It's Neil, right? Are we doing it at the highest res we can, man? I said, well, I'm almost there. Some of the software doesn't handle the 192 files. Well, man, you got to do it. So we had to throw out 3 months of work. And we did it gladly because Neil Young, God bless his cotton socks, he is a stickler for putting you right there when either we recorded it in the studio or we did it live. Neil Young is a slave to the best sound possible, and I gotta give him credit.
Yeah, yeah.